A band of intrepid explorers faces off against a vicious S-ranked forest dragon at the beginning of the story. The adventurers are compelled to flee as it unleashes a torrent of flames, wreaking havoc on the landscape. Across town, we encounter Ollie Lane, a young farmer. He checks on his crops and is happy to see that they're doing nicely. He gathers a portion of the produce and gets ready to go shopping. In his status pane, he notices that his farming abilities have been fully leveled up to 10. He is accompanied by his fishing companion Testa, who is astounded by his accomplishment. Even though he is supposed to be the fisherman, Testa can't help but be envious of Ollie's level 10 fishing skill. After Ollie has mastered every aspect of farming, he is presented with a unique opportunity to combine and improve his abilities. Thus, he becomes known as the nature lover after claiming it. Ollie doesn't understand, but Testa notices that his status points have increased by 65,000, with an attack of nearly 73,000 and a defense of 45,000. They're taken aback, but Ollie swiftly recalls the necessity of visiting the market. In order to sell his harvest, Ollie is going to the royal capital. As he travels, he witnesses the dragons swarming the heroes. Retrenchment is in order because they are no match. Helping out, Ollie tosses a carrot in the air in the hopes of diverting the dragon's attention, but it lands squarely on its target, and the dragon explodes at the sound of its own horn. Both Ollie and the adventurers are taken aback by his sudden burst of strength, and neither knows what happened. The explorers can only observe his path as he swiftly continues on his journey. Magus, the royal capital, is Ollie's last destination. As he stands at the gate, a girl is abducted. Ollie swiftly leaps ahead to rescue the girl as the masked attacker charges through. Ollie swiftly disarms the masked attacker and vanquishes him despite his knife strike. Following his arrest, the girl expresses her gratitude to the man for rescuing her. Ollie doesn't want to be late, so he runs out as soon as he hears a bell. Ollie dodges the girl's question about his name and races away. He successfully transports his harvest to the market. The city guards intercept him as he tries to exit. Ollie fears for his safety, but the girl he rescued shows up and says she is Phallus, princess of the capital. Ollie feels awkward approaching the princess, but she tells him to be casual anyway. She wants to know if he'd be interested in serving the royal family. Hell no, he thinks to himself. On the contrary, he cautiously attempts to turn down the offer, claiming he isn't up to the task. Phallus stops him as he tries to flee. Ollie claims he is solely interested in farming, despite her assurances that they will pay him handsomely. Phallus, upon hearing this, offers him a 33,000 square meter field close to the metropolis. Why would she go to such lengths to woo him? Ollie wonders. She explains to him that it's because he vanquished the hooded man with ease, despite his strength being over 500. When Ollie inquires about the average strength, Phallus states that the typical individual possesses approximately 50 strength, whereas adventurers possess roughly 130 strength, knights can reach up to 600 strength, and the legendary hero possesses 1,000 strength. When Phallus wants to see his status, Ollie tells him he can't. The heroes come back to tell the tale of how they vanquished the forest dragon. The only thing they know is that a carriage was involved. They have no idea who did it. As soon as Phallus hears the news, he begins to mistrust Ollie, but Ollie's swiftly from the scene as they are preoccupied. Regardless, Phallus is dead set on recruiting him. Out of nowhere, a guard informs Phallus that she is summoned to come back to the palace. Word on the street is that the capital is under attack from a legion of fantastical creatures, including golems, dragons, and orcs. Their origin from the Hal Zone surprises the king because the hero killed the Hal Zone's leader, the Demon King, and the two of them struck a peace treaty with the demons. Our guide is Officer Cecil. He implies that not all demons are pleased with the peace treaty, particularly Romeo Van Dead, the first general of the Demon King. He has reason to believe they learned of the hero's demise and are seeking vengeance for the Demon King's killing. To ensure his own safety, he suggests that the monarch depart from the capital. The monarch is torn between staying with his people and surviving, but his warriors implore him to stay. When Ollie returns home, he uses his newfound strength to inadvertently smash his door. After a long day, He is taken aback when Testa unexpectedly shows up at his door. He is informed by Testa that they must flee the area due to the presence of a legion of monsters. All of a sudden, Ollie starts thinking about his crops and races out to tend to them. His crops are doing okay, which is a relief for him. Ollie sees the giant army go past and knows they're going straight for the capital. He initially refuses to get involved, reasoning that he is merely a farmer. However, he soon comes to the realization that in the event of the capital's collapse, he will be unable to sell his harvest. At the same time, the royal couple has managed to flee the capital, but their flight has been fruitless. An energy blast unexpectedly targets the king. After assuming a new identity, Cecil unveils himself as Romeo, the demon general. Right from the start, he had been leading them astray. After he kills the king, he announces his intention to use his transformation magic to pretend to be the king and rule the kingdom covertly. The king blocks his path with a barrier he conjures up with his evil powers. As the monarch fights to keep up, the walls start to fall. Even though Phallus assists in fortifying the barrier, Romeo launches a second assault. The monarch is unable to keep the barrier up after it breaks. All of Phallus's defenses have been blown to smithereens by the onslaught. Just as Romeo is about to use his overdarkness power to finish them out, Ollie swoops in and interrupts. The ground is shattered by his plowing skill, which disrupts the army of monsters. Ollie simply states he is just an average farmer, which piques Romeo's curiosity. Even as Romeo leaps behind him, Ollie snatches his blade and flings him aside. The impact is so great that Romeo decides to give it his all. He assumes his true form after absorbing the strength of the monsters around him. Phallus checks his status and sees that he has 78 levels and more than 5,000 strength. She orders Ollie to flee. Romeo charges Ollie with all his might, but Ollie returns the favor with a blow of his own, ending Romeo's fight. Shocked, the creatures flee in terror after being knocked down with a single blow. Upon their return to the palace, the king expresses his gratitude for his role in vanquishing Romeo and rescuing them. However, Ollie only claims that he acted in order to safeguard his crops. In response to the king's request that he serve his nation, Ollie says he would rather be a farmer and declines. Ollie is adamant on staying a farmer, even when the king offers to elevate him to the rank of commander or bestow any title he wants. In return, Phallus offers him the 33,000 square meter field next to the kingdom, but only if he signs up as an adventurer and helps out the kingdom every once in a while. Ollie nods his head in agreement, but when he arrives to see the field, he discovers it is a desolate wasteland, and he realizes Phallus has lied to him. Ollie and Phallus go food shopping in the capital the following day, and Ollie is blown away by the variety of cuisines available. She explains to Ollie that she has a royal maid standing in for her and that she uses a magical hairpin to prevent people from recognizing her when she strolls across the capital. After Phallus brings Ollie to the Adventurers Guild, the guild master greets them warmly, having heard tales of Ollie's prowess. He escorts Ollie to the reception area, where they see Helen, the secretary. They rush to obtain food for Ollie after he suddenly starts to rumble with a growl. They keep on with the interview when Helen bakes him a tasty pie. She presses Ollie for an explanation of his desire to join the adventurers, but he says he is merely enrolling according to his agreement with Phallus. As if by magic, the heroes of the previous day reappear, expressing their gratitude for vanquishing the S-ranked dragon. Ollie feels ashamed while the rest of the guild watches in awe. Those brave souls who set off on this expedition are Jake, Luke, and Lamia, they say. They encourage him to go hunting with them and wish him luck. The thought of being forcibly removed from his farming life causes Ollie to sigh. Upon Ollie's mention of his desire to attempt a mission, Helen informs him that adventurers are ranked from F-ranked to double S rank. He should start with easy quests since he is a beginner adventurer. To ease into it, she recommends a mission to gather 10 herbs from the grim forest. Helen warns him that monsters could be lurking in the area, but Ollie claims he can't afford the necessary gear. Helen hears this and offers him her worn-out cloak that has been enchanted to protect him. Helen insisted on it and helped Ollie put it on, even though Ollie is hesitant to accept it. Helen is captivated by his cloak-clad figure because he resembles someone she knows. Even though she sends her best wishes, Ollie can't stop thinking about his existence on the farm. Ollie leaves for the woods to get the herbs. A strange black scale appears to him as he continues to collect. As he searches for the monster that might have dropped it, a female orc unexpectedly approaches him. Jake comes to his rescue just in time as the creature pounces on him, intent on mating with him. After defeating the orc, Ollie expresses his gratitude for his assistance. Has anyone heard of the black scale? He wants to know. Jake has heard tales of a black dragon, but he doesn't take them seriously since, according to him, dragons of that color don't live in woodlands but in the highlands. If Lamia is correct, he can make a respectable profit off of it. All of a sudden, they are engulfed by an enormous aura. As a black dragon appears, they stand motionless in terror. The cloaked dragon ignores them completely. Ollie peeks at its status despite his terror and is astonished by its terrible stats. Helen snaps out of her nightmare as she sees a girl fleeing, but eventually arrested. Her mother realizes she doesn't look well the following day. Helen explains that she is suffering from amnesia and can't recall her activities following work on a prior day. She needs a break, her mom says. She's been working too much. Ollie is back at the guild, and he has some serious news to tell. They inform the guild master of their meeting with the evil dragon when they meet with him. It currently has a strength of more than 230,000. Their first impression is that it is the malevolent dragon Ouroboros. Everyone is horrified to hear this, but Helen in particular. Ollie proudly displays the scale he discovered, a sight that horrifies Helen. The memory of her brother's escape and the dragon's subsequent death lingers in her mind. She passes out because it's too much. Ollie anxiously waits, but Helen's mother reassures him that everything will be all right. She reveals her identity as Helen's foster mother after recognizing Ollie's robe. Helen was discovered wearing a cloak near the lake 15 years prior. Only her name remained in her memory. Everything else had faded away. It is her suspicion that Helen may be associated with Ouroboros. As soon as Ollie hears this, he is resolved to lend a hand. In his quest for further information, he visits the library, but he comes up empty-handed. He decides to review the news accounts from the time of Helen's initial discovery, which was 15 years ago. But the librarian informed him that he does not have the proper authorization to see those reports because they are limited. Even if Ollie tries to grovel, she rejects him. Much to the librarian's surprise, Phallus materializes out of nowhere. Ollie is able to obtain access to the data with her assistance, because to her position as princess. Following their lead into the restricted area, they review the damage reports for the town where Helen was discovered. Ollie learns that the Honora village was leveled 15 years ago, and that black scales were also discovered there. But it was all covered up because the wicked dragon was supposed to be dead. However, the entire planet would be in jeopardy if it had been restored in any way. They plan to visit Honora village the next day to take a look. They discover it in a state of total devastation. While they're exploring, Ollie detects a voice. He goes to a cemetery after hearing a voice. A young lad shows up donning the identical cloak. Since Phallus can't see or hear Ollie, she doesn't know who he is speaking to. The boy identifies himself as Lay, and Ollie discovers he is a specter. When the youngster sees that Ollie is also wearing a cloak, he is overjoyed to have finally found someone who can see him. When Lay finds out that Ollie is her brother, she is relieved to learn that Helen is doing well, and Ollie explains that he received it from her. He talks about how his father charmed the cloak and how it was a gift from him. Ollie wraps the robe over Phallus, drawing her into an uncomfortable position where she blushes and panics. But this allows her to see Lay, and her terror at his spectral presence causes her to lose her composure. Lay goes on to warn that Helen is in danger and that she was the only one in the town to survive. Time travel to a period 15 years ago occurs. Lay stumbles and falls while exercising with a sword, but Helen calls him for lunch anyhow. Lay aspires to join the warrior elite, but Helen frets over him. Dark clouds roll in all of a sudden, and lightning strikes the sky. Upon their hasty return, they see the settlement in ruins, engulfed in flames. A tremendous roar emitted by the black dragon heralds its landing. Standing up to it, a little child hurls a rock in its direction. The dragon is capable of speech and finds the boy's ability to challenge him to be absurd. Any glimmer of optimism is snuffed out by the fearsome dragon. Its mouth widens, conjuring a dark force, just as the boy's fear grows. From a distance, Helen and Lay observe, knowing they can do nothing. Rushing out of the settlement, they realize they must go if they want any chance of survival. Unfortunately, the dragon hovers overhead and spots them as they take off running. Swiftly evading the dragon's fire-breathing wing, they flee in the opposite direction. If they flee in fear, the dragon will relish it. After a while, Helen gives out and trips and collapses. After she orders Lay to continue on her own, the dragon lands behind her. As it is ready to eat her soul, Lay lashes out with his sword, striking the dragon in the eye. While he orders Helen to go, the sword snaps and its eye grows back into its original form. After that, the dragon decides to devour Lay first and shifts its focus on him. It pounces on Lay, slashing him with its fangs. The dragon takes pleasure in Helen's misery since it strengthens him, and she quickly runs to her brother. The dragon grants Helen a wish to live, but only after 15 years has passed. In that time, it will demolish her home once more, inflicting much more mental harm on her before devouring her soul. The dragon decides to attach his soul to the region so he can observe Helen's awful fate after hearing Lay's vow to protect her even in death. Following that, both Lay and the dragon vanish. In the present day, Lay relates how the dragon always chooses one lucky person to be its ambassador, spreading the tale and inspiring even more terror. It will seek out that individual and continue the process once it awakens. Ollie refuses Lay's pleadings to provide a hand in defending Helen, claiming the dragon is too powerful. When Lay was at his lowest, the dragon devoured his soul. He thinks they may weaken the dragon's power by harnessing the opposite of despair. After Lay requests Ollie to relay a message to his sister, Ollie hastily leaves, dragging Phallus after him. Today marks precisely 15 years subsequent to the dragon's earlier assault, hence they are in a rush. Phallus begs Ollie to take her into his arms, since she feels humiliated being handled like a bag. His experience as a farmer taught him this, though, and he claims that is the quickest way to run. They return to the city, and to their relief, the dragon is still nowhere to be seen. Phallus is astounded by Ollie's incredible endurance, as she names him a monster for his cruel treatment of her. Ollie sets out to locate Helen, while Phallus gets the guards ready. Helen is nowhere to be found when her mother returns to the guild to see how she is doing. Helen is out on her own in the wilderness when the black dragon materializes. After 15 years, it finally shows up, and Helen starts to remember things she had forgotten. Her brother's death was her responsibility, she recalls. Her brother wouldn't have gotten in her way if it weren't for the dragon, she thinks to herself. The entire city will soon perish as a result of her, according to the prophecy. Helen offers her life as a sacrifice to stop the dragon from attacking the city, but the beast shows no signs of relenting. Helen is about to commit suicide until Ollie reaches her in the nick of time to intervene. Just as Helen realizes what's happening, the dragon pounces, causing Ollie to be knocked out. The protective fabric of Ollie's cloak allows him to escape unharmed. In response to the dragon's disbelief at the fact that a human could withstand his onslaught, Ollie clarifies that he is a farmer, not merely a human. Despite Helen's orders for him to flee, Ollie rushes the dragon and punches it in the face. The dragon is shocked that a human might harm him, but Ollie reassures Helen not to be worried. They start fighting because the dragon wants Helen to give up and die. Ollie fights valiantly as the dragon lunges at him, its claw wagging in an attempt to harm him. The dragon fires its deadly flames at Ollie as he strikes another punch. Helen orders Ollie to leave her when he is knocked out, stating that she does not want any more lives lost as a result of her. However, Ollie assures her that she is not to blame. His story begins with his meeting her brother. As soon as her memories returned, her brother anticipated that she would place the burden on herself. He instructed Ollie to reassure her that he did not hold her responsible for his own demise. He wishes his sister a happy life since he is proud of what he did to protect her. The dragon's might starts to fade as Ollie gives her reason to hope. The dragon snarls at Ollie and lunges at them, but a single punch from Ollie is enough to defeat the battered creature. At last, he can unwind, but Helen stabs him in the back as he vanquishes the dragon. Ollie, bewildered, reaches for a potion, but he fumbles with it and loses it. Ollie just avoids Helen's second assault on him. Helen rushes over to put an end to Ollie's attempts to inquire about what's happening. Along comes a wing, and all of a sudden, it becomes clear that the wicked dragon is possessing Helen when the holy dragon mirage materializes. After giving Ollie his powers and healing him, the holy dragon collapses. In his message to Ollie, he bestows the ability to cleanse the black dragon and save Helen. Ollie immediately punches the evil dragon, who is laughing because he thought Ollie wouldn't risk damaging Helen's body. The dragon is taken aback, and Ollie can see Helen wants him to intervene by the look in her eyes. As Ollie assists Helen, she seizes him, and the malevolent spirit of the dragon swoops down to try to take possession of him. Helen then appears to revert to her original nature. It boasts success, yet something is amiss. Farming is all that matters to Ollie. The fact that there is nothing to do other than plant seeds and gather them is shocking to the dragon. Nothing it touches becomes corrupted, and Ollie's body rejects it. After getting back on his feet, the holy dragon cleanses Helen with his strength. After Ollie helps destroy the wicked dragon soul, the holy dragon is grateful to him. As the light disappears, Ollie and Helen lose consciousness. Ollie is at the guild when he awakens. Ensuring he is all right, Phallus embraces him. When Ollie inquires about the whereabouts of the dragons, Helen informs him that Ouroboros underwent purification and the holy dragon vanished as well. After being possessed, Ollie wants to know if Helen is okay. She claims to be perfectly okay, and she has even learned to change her limbs into dragon claws. When Helen demonstrates that she can freely wield the power, Ollie is startled and believes that Helen is still possessed. She intends to rescue innocent people in the future by harnessing this ability for good. Helen, who mistakenly thinks she is the princess because to her magical hairpin, interrupts to inquire about Phallus and Ollie's connection. Ollie starts to feel anxious, and Phallus reassures him by stating that they're friends from infancy. Jake, his pals, and the guild master all barge in at once. Ollie vanquished the terrible dragon, and they are both relieved and shocked that Helen is okay. They are curious about the palace's plan to compensate Ollie for vanquishing the dragon, and Phallus, nearly unknowingly, declares that there would be a substantial sum as compensation. In honor of Ollie's triumph, they throw a party. Phallus, who can read minds, urges Luke to chill out as Ollie is planning to harvest his potatoes first thing in the morning, even though Ollie isn't drinking with them. Everyone has a good time that night as Helen flaunts her new power. Ollie enlists Tess's assistance with the harvest the following morning. The fact that Ollie can successfully run 2 farms astounds him. Out of nowhere, Ollie gets a letter from Rix, the postmaster. His father wrote him a letter urging him to pay them a visit because they haven't seen him for some time. Ollie feels torn since he has taken on an excessive number of guild quests. Thank you for watching to this point. For part 2, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss out.